Welcome folks to the first edition of Coach Mike's Playbook. Right off the bat, I'm going to let you guys know, whenever you see a ranked game, which is what this is, I'm usually going to be using the Cowboys. That's just my team. You know, I've always loved them, so I play with them. If you guys would like to see me use different teams, then leave comments and I'll give it a shot and we'll have some fun with that. Also, you should know I use a custom playbook. It's one I designed myself. Has a lot of different things in it, and I just enjoy running multiple things. I also like that because I have so many different things in it, I have something for the strength of any team that I play with. You know, whatever the team's strength is, I can run with it, and you know, I feel comfortable with it. If you'd like me to use, you know, a certain team's playbook, I'll give that a shot too. We'll have some fun with this. Right off the bat, I can tell you this first game is a pretty sloppy one. I won the game. You'll see the score in the end when we're done with this, but it was very sloppy. I did not play very well on offense. I also had some very, very bad quarterback play as far as his throwing the ball. He was very errant in a lot of his passes, which you're going to see right off the bat. He was just not very good to start the game, at least. So without further ado, let's get into this and have some fun. Okay, let's start off right off the bat. I have the ball on the 19-yard line. It's my 1st and 10. First play of the ball game. Initially, I'd called a weak side zone here, which is basically an off-tackle style play where the back can find a hole wherever he wants. But as you can see, they're in what's called a dollar set, or it might be a quarter set. Either way, they've brought everybody up in the box. So now they have 9 men in the box, and I only have 7 men to block them. So I had to make an adjustment here. I had to go from my run to a pass because I just don't like my odds running the ball here. Now, in this case, when you see these kind of defenses, a lot of people run this kind of defense where they run all these defensive backs. They're a lot faster guys. They bring them all up in the box to stop your run or to make you adjust to a pass. Now, in the passing game, though, what they're doing is because they have so many fast guys in this case, they have 6 DBs usually or 7 DBs, they're going to usually drop into coverage when it's a pass play. In this case, it's usually a cover 3. Sometimes you might see a quarters, but you know, in this case they're way out of position here. So I made the adjustment to go to a tight end seams play. So what that means is my wide receiver over here, as you can see, is running a 10-yard hitch. I have a shallow cross. Now I have my tight ends here attacking the seam routes. Now what I mean by seam routes is whenever you see a cover 3 defense, there's seams or windows between the defenders. And in the deep area of the field, the 2 windows are right between the safety and the corner on either side of the field. That's the place you want to attack. Now, if you're also going against a normal cover 3, against a base defense, or maybe a nickel or a dime set, usually you have 4 guys rushing in that case, then that means you also have 4 men underneath. Now, when you have 4 men underneath, that leaves for some nice spaces underneath for those routes. In this case, it's a dollar set or a quarter set. Usually that means only 3 men are coming. Sometimes they'll still send 4, but on the norm, it's usually going to be 3 men coming, 5 underneath, which usually takes out your underneath routes. So that's why I decided to go with the seams here to attack the biggest holes in the defense. And as you can see, I actually made a couple hot route adjustments here. This back was supposed to actually check for a blitz and then bounce out if there's no blitz. I send him on a straight flare route right off the bat, so if I see these guys coming, I'm going to hit him right now and then just turn it upfield. Same thing with my tight end here. I made an adjustment with him where he was actually running what's called a skinny post. And the reason I made the adjustment here is I want the safety who's in the middle of the field to have to make a choice now. I want him to have to choose between either Escobar or Witten. So if he turns his shoulders towards Witten, I'm going to hit Escobar. If he turns them towards Escobar, I'm going to look to hit Witten. So let's run through the play, see what happens, and it's not pretty to be honest, and see what I maybe could have done better. So right off the bat, we are seeing cover 3, and we're seeing the 500 because it's the dollar set with 3 rushers. So 500 usually means, okay, I want to go deep for sure. Now as we go through this play, I've already made the decision to pass. I took my 5-step and go. I'm looking to throw right now. I tend to make quick decisions when I'm passing the ball. That's usually how I work. That's how I teach. Usually you don't want your quarterback just sitting there forever. Now in this case, it was only 3 rushers, so I actually had the time to sit and be a little more patient. I just didn't do it, and I probably should have in this case. As you can see, this safety leans more towards Witten. So in that case, I have Escobar here running his seam route, and as you can see, he's got a nice split between the corner and the safety. Now the under defender here, who I'm guessing is a DB, he looks like a DB to me size-wise, he actually keeps gaining depth. So I decide to throw a little high, and I get the overthrow by about 15 yards. So because he gains his depth with Escobar here, it forces me to make a harder throw than I would have liked, and I get the really bad throw here with the 15-yard overthrow. Now if you look at it, if I was about a second, not even that really, I could have thrown it right about now, made the decision to throw. As you can see, he's already releasing the ball, but waited about half a second longer. I have that nice cross here. Since he's gaining depth, he is putting himself out of position. He is now out of position to cover that cross as it hits his zone, which is probably what I should have done. I should have been a little more patient just because I had the time. As you can see here, everybody's coming. They're coming from the inside. It's 3 men. I could have easily just, slid one way or the other. In this case, I probably would have went to my left and hit this. Now, the other thing you might see here is the flare out. In this case, I didn't really care to hit it just because I knew it's going to be a zone. They're going to have a flat player, so once I get him the ball, he might get a yard, maybe 2, and if I get lucky, he breaks a tackle, but most likely not. So really, I think I should have hit this dig route. I should have just been a little more patient, knowing that I only had the 3-man rush, and I had plenty of guys here that were doing a good job of blocking. But I went for the seam and went for the harder throw, and as you can see, it was an overthrow. Alright, second play of the ball game, 2nd down and 10, still on the 19-yard line. So you can see here I initially call a power play, but he's back in that same defense. Right now he has a little less. I mean, he actually has 8 men up in the box. Still tough to run against. So I go with what's a usual for me here. I adjust into a play action with the tight end scissors in this case. So what that entails is my X receiver here runs a deeper dig. My tight end here, runs a corner. Dez here, my Z, runs a post. That's where we get the scissor out of this. I get a fullback in the flat and a halfback. We run play action pass, so he runs off of a power look and then he hitches up. My quarterback here, after the handoff, I can usually roll him out if I like, or set up right behind the tackle area. Normally, when I call this play, anytime I see any sort of 8-man front or 9-man front, he actually is bringing that safety up now, as you can see here. The dig is one of my preferred areas, or the corner route. They just tend to get open in this play, no matter what the coverage is. I think this is another cover 3. Dig, usually, I mean, if you have the time, it's going to get there for you. It's going to find several different seams, and this is a little deeper one, so it actually gives somewhat of a vertical and horizontal stretch to the defense, to where it's hitting the seams, they're hitting the windows between the under coverage, and also little windows between the under and deep coverage. So let's run through the play, see what happens here. To be honest with you, I'm pretty angry about this play just because it was there, and you'll see what happens. All right, get the play action. We see a cover 3. He's got that same thing, same thing as earlier. 3 deep, 5 under, and 3 rushers. The player in this case is now rushing as opposed to playing coverage. Now, as you can see, I make the adjustment, as I said, the dig. Okay, now middle of the field here, I don't want to throw that post. The safety is just sitting right in the middle. If I throw that, that's probably an interception. The tight end here, if I'm patient, could get open. Right now, if I hit it over the top, that would probably be there. Now it's all dependent on whether Romo can hit that over the top in this case and keep it in bounds. So I go to my tried and true thing of hitting my dig route, because as you can see here, he's got just enough separation from that linebacker now. There's nobody else here. The undercover linebacker here who's in the hook zone is stepping up to play the tailback here who stepped in the hook. So now that opens this up on the dig route, and that should be a big play for me. As we scrub through it here, you're going to see it is one of the worst passes I've ever seen. He nearly throws an interception another 15 yards downfield. So, to be honest with you, learning experience-wise, I honestly don't know what to say. I feel pretty comfortable with my decision-making in this case. You know, as I said, I could have probably went for the tight end here too, but this is wide open. It's just a matter, he's got to make the throw, and we don't get the throw in this case. Okay, third offensive play of the ball game, 3rd and 10, ball on the 19 still. As you can see here, I'm running the curls play. I make the adjustment. Instead of having my tight end run the little hitch here, I have him go on a go route. I usually do that whenever I call this play, because I like to see if I can hit him in a little seam here with a quick hitter in case they blitz, or just one-on-one deep against the safety. I trust him to make the catch just about every time. You know, really, this was a dumb call for me to make, just based on what he had run the last 2 times. He's already in that defense again, so I know I shouldn't have called this. You know, we'll run through the play. You'll see the decision. It wasn't very smart. I almost pay for it. As you can see right here, running the hitches, I made the decision to throw the ball to Bryant, which is really stupid. You can see here he's completely covered. He's got a guy under, guy over. This guy who may not be able to make a play on the ball can still make a big hit. You know, there's just no way in this case. And I get lucky. He just, you know, it's an easy interception, and he just drops the ball. You know, the only thing I really had in this play is my fullback on his flare route here, his little flat route. I should have hit that. I should have just tossed it over to him. He was wide open. Now, I think I let myself get zeroed in here, and that's not smart. You never should do that. You know, it was just, I think it's a little frustration after the last 2 plays. And I end up forcing it, thinking, okay, well, I have Des Bryant. I'll just throw it up high, and he can get the ball. Well, it was a bad throw, bad decision, and I nearly pay for it. Okay, we have a 4th and 10 here from my 19-yard line. Now, first off, I'm going to say if I'm actually coaching a real game, I am punting the ball. In this case, it's a video game. I have fun with it. You know, if I have 4th and 20, I'll probably punt the ball in that case. But I usually feel comfortable. You know, with 10 yards, I can usually get it, even as bad as I've started off. Now, as you can see here, I've actually called a hitch corners. I've made some adjustments. So with the adjustments I made were Bryant here would normally be running a hitch. Now I sent him on a slant route. The other adjustment I'll end up making here in a second is instead of Butler running this post route across the field, I have him running a go. Now the reason I like to do this is I still like having the smash effect here with the over-under, so you're getting that vertical stretch. I like to get a little horizontal stretch as well. So now with him running the corner and him running this seam route here, the go route, it's going to stretch the defense horizontally in the deep areas. So it's going to either force the corner to go out with him. The safety here, if they're in a zone, he has to attack that. If it's one-on-one with the safety, I feel very comfortable throwing the ball to Butler. He's a tall guy. He's a fast guy. Normally he can beat a safety. The other thing I like about this is sending him on the go clears out the slant underneath, and I feel very comfortable throwing that too. So, you know, his defense here, he's still in the quarter or the dollar, whatever it is. It looks to me like he might be in a quarters defense. The quarters defense means he's got 4 DBs covering, each covering a quarter of the field. Underneath wise, you know, I don't know if he's going to have 4 guys under or 5 with him. This guy could either come or he can drop. Actually, all these guys could come or drop. It's, you know, always depending on what the guy likes to do. In this case, this guy's been sending 3 every single time, so I'm kind of expecting these 3 guys to come. So let's run the play, see what happens, and see what I, you know, could have done better. Brings that safety up a little bit. Almost looks like man now. So right now, it's still the cover 3. You know, it's just spread out now with my empty set. And as you can see, I get another bad throw. You know, in this case, I'm guessing Romo feels the pressure, but it really, he's just going to make the throw. The deep route here takes 2 defenders. And as I said, that's why I like sending him deep, because it clears this out. With him running the post, that usually gets this under defender coming across and making it a lot harder to throw this slant. I will keep the post if there's nothing in the middle of the field, if they're running a man-to-man type coverage or it looks like man right off the bat. In this case, I get the scissors effect here on the backside, outside under guy, and then of course the deep third guy here. They've got that corner locked up. This guy who's running his little hitch zone, he is just going to sit there because there's supposed to be another guy here that he has to pass Bryant off to, but that guy gains depth and he goes deep. So it leaves me nice and wide open to hit this, but as you can see, obviously, it's another really bad throw. Romo really started off horribly for me in this game. So things will pick up, thankfully, but as far as this drive goes, it's a wash, and I just gave him the ball on the 19-yard line, which, you know, like I said, real game, I'm punting this. I'm just having some fun. And that'll do it for my first offensive series. I'm going to go ahead and throw the first defensive series on as well, since it's only a 1-play drive. That'll be on a separate video, but, you know, I'll put that on right now. You know, I hope you guys are learning from this and enjoying it, and I hope to see you guys again the next time. Have a great day. God bless.